What if I told you that the real reason young Dolph was killed wasn't about street beef, wasn't about fame, and wasn't even about money, but about betrayal from someone right next to him? Yeah, you heard that right, the inner circle.
We haven't really heard much from you since the tragic passing of Dolph. Is this the first time that you've done an interview since he passed?
Yeah.
How are you holding up? I mean, obviously, something that's...
I'm content. I'm all right.
When you say content, what does that mean? Like
I'm maintaining. Like I'm not getting better. I'm not getting worse. I'm just here right now.
Yeah.
The same crew that screamed Betrayal might have been the ones holding the knife behind his back the whole time. And now, after years of silence, Glock, the one man who never folded, has finally opened his mouth. And what he's saying, it's shaking Memphis harder than an 808 drop at a Yo Gotti concert. Because this isn't just some interview. Nah, this is confession meets revelation meets demolition. Glock just pointed fingers, not directly, but loud enough for the streets to hear. And suddenly, everyone's scrambling, the blogs, the rappers, even the loyal homies who thought they were safe. Was Dolph's death an inside job? Did loyalty turn into envy? And who's the snake in the empire that Glock just exposed without saying a name? Grab your popcorn, because this ain't just rap beef, this is Memphis Mafia level betrayal. And trust me, you won't believe who's on Glock's hit list. When Glock finally decided to speak, the silence that had surrounded him for years shattered like glass. And the whole Memphis scene went into shock. Everyone had been waiting for this moment. The day Glock would finally break his calm and speak on the pain, the betrayal, and the strange energy that followed young Dolph's death. It wasn't just a normal interview. It felt like a confession, a man finally reaching his breaking point after holding too much for too long. For the fans, Paper Route Empire had always been about brotherhood.
That's just a normal thing when death occurs. It's just like, I ain't gonna say it's wrong to show love, but if it ain't genuine, why do it? Like if it ain't real, like, you know what I'm saying? That's just a normal thing when death occurs. It's just like, I ain't gonna say it's wrong to show love, but if it ain't genuine, why do it? Like if it ain't real, like, you know what I'm saying? So everybody know, like I know, like you know, then fuck with real like that. You know what I'm
Brotherhood, loyalty, and independence. Dolph had built that empire from the ground up, teaching his people how to move without the industry, how to own their music, and how to stay true to themselves. But after his death, things changed. People started moving differently, showing off wealth that didn't make sense, making business decisions that went against everything Dolph stood for. Glock noticed it all, and for a while, he stayed quiet, watching from a distance while the people he once called family seemed more focused on fame than loyalty. Then came that one interview, the one clip that sent shockwaves through social media, when Glock said, "Everybody wasn't who they said they was." The streets froze. Fans knew exactly what he meant, even though he didn't name anyone. It was the kind of line that carried more weight than 1,000 accusations. Within hours, the internet exploded with theories, and every fan turned into a detective. People started analyzing Instagram follows and unfollows, pulling up old clips, screenshots.
We haven't really heard much from you since the tragic passing of Dolph. Is this the first time that you've done an interview since he passed?
Yeah.
And even so-called leaked messages that supposedly exposed who was really behind the chaos inside Paper Route Empire. There were whispers of money going missing, strange...
You gotta be ready when you go back, but you go to your hometown, bro. You got the who was in class who ain't never like you.
Studio sessions that didn't add up, and secret meetings that happened right after Dolph's passing. One unnamed engineer even claimed that the night Dolph died, files were moved, passwords were changed, and Glock was quietly locked out of shared accounts. Nobody knew what to believe, but one thing was clear. Something inside the empire wasn't right. The people who used to scream "Pre for life" suddenly seemed divided. Their posts and lyrics filled with tension and hidden shots. Glock.
The jury found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 1 of the indictment. We, the jury, found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 2 of the indictment. Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict? Yes, sir. Is this your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict? Yes.
Who had always carried himself like the quiet soldier, now seemed like the only one still standing for the truth, while others jumped on features and clout-driven interviews. He stayed out of the spotlight, which made his silence speak even louder. When he finally looked into the camera and said that line, it wasn't anger, it was disappointment. The sound of someone realizing that his brother's empire had turned into something unrecognizable. Memphis had questions, and Glock's words only made them louder. Who exactly betrayed young Dolph? And how deep did the betrayal go? Because the way Glock spoke, it sounded less like speculation and more like a warning to the ones who thought they got away with it. And that warning was about to hit harder than anyone expected. After that interview, the city of Memphis felt different. Like a storm was brewing that everyone could feel but no one wanted to talk about. Key Glock's quiet words had turned into loud conversations in barbershops, studios, and street corners across the South. People started whispering about names that had once been untouchable, and it was no longer just the fans speculating. According to sources close to the label, there were private meetings happening behind closed doors, heated arguments over money, and people suddenly trying to clean up their images online. Some deleted old posts, some unfollowed each other, and others acted like nothing happened, but everyone knew something was off. What used to be a family was now divided, and Glock's silence in the middle of it all made the tension even heavier. He wasn't doing interviews or dissing anyone.
Just wondering how you feeling, how you holding up. I mean, obviously, something that's...
I'm content. I'm alright.
When you say content, what does that mean? Like
I'm maintaining. Like I'm not getting better. I'm not getting worse. I'm just
anyone directly, but the message was clear in his actions. He stopped showing up at pre-events, stopped posting label promos, and started focusing completely on his own projects. To outsiders, it looked like a normal business move. But those who knew the story could see that Glock was distancing himself from the same people who had once called him brother. There were rumors that certain members had been caught making side deals with promoters and producers, who were never loyal to Dolph in the first place. One promoter, who asked not to be named, said that right after Dolph's passing, people started calling him trying to book shows using the paper route name, even though Glock was not included. The promoter said it felt like everyone wanted to eat off Dolph's legacy before the truth came out. Another anonymous insider claimed that Glock found out about meetings where people discussed how to restructure the label, which was basically code for pushing him out. That was the last straw. Around that same time, fans noticed Glock unfollowed several pre-artists and producers. And that action alone set social media on fire. It was a digital signal that something big had snapped behind the scenes. People started digging into his new music, quoting lines that seemed to hint at betrayal and fake loyalty. In one unreleased snippet that leaked online, he rapped about being surrounded by smiles that turned into knives. And listeners knew exactly what that meant. Still, Glock never confirmed anything. He moved like a man preparing for something larger, letting his silence carry the weight. The energy around him was calm but dangerous, like he knew something everyone else was afraid to say out loud. The empire Dolph built on loyalty and trust was breaking apart, and Glock's quiet rebellion had become the center of attention. People were now wondering who would speak next and what secrets would come out once Glock decided to name names. Because at this point, the truth felt closer than ever, and Memphis was holding its breath, waiting for the explosion. And now, after everything we've uncovered, it's time to ask the questions that everyone is too afraid to voice. Who really betrayed young Dolph? And how far does this web of fake loyalty stretch? Are we looking at a few bad apples or a whole system that has been quietly corrupting the empire from the inside? Key Glock has spoken in ways that shook the streets and exposed the cracks. But the full truth is still out there waiting to be revealed. What would you do if you were in his shoes? Watching people you trusted profit off the name of someone you loved, while the legacy they built together was being twisted for personal gain. Does loyalty even mean anything anymore? Or is it just a word people throw around when it's convenient? This is the moment to think critically, dig deeper, and demand answers, because the story isn't over. The streets are watching, the fans are paying attention, and every move Glock makes now could change the game forever. If you want to stay in the loop on every twist, every revelation, and every shocking turn in this saga, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment with your theories, and subscribe to the channel. Don't miss a second of the truth as it unfolds. Because what's coming next could blow everything you thought you knew completely out of the water.